Check, check, check. Okay, friends, gonna get started. Hello. Good morning, afternoon-ish. It's 12 p.m., technically noon. Welcome back to Zine Dreams. I'm Jenn Vega. This is a stream about the exploration of independent zines, commercial magazines, and sometimes books today. We look at how they're structured, how they're made, tips for curation, and other ways to express yourself with printed materials, because it's something that I work with all the time. Last time, we looked at Terry Pratchett's The Color of Magic, because Sean Astin read it on a live stream recently, and I decided to read the whole thing. And then we also looked at Food and Wine's Thanksgiving 2007 issue, which was very dense and very interesting. Oh, good morning. Yes, it is still morning over on the West Coast. True. Today, we're going to talk about two things. One really small, one really big. Edible Ohio Valley. So I have been going through the Edible Brooklyn, Edible Manhattan series, and I have another one from the Ohio Valley, which I think will be very illuminating. And then, my friend Chitra's book, Vibrant India. This is South Indian vegetarian recipes. Yeah, this is a great book. It's beautiful, too. We'll talk about all the beautiful bits in a second, but to tell you the business, so this stream is on Twitch, and on Twitch you can subscribe to streams to help support the creators, and it is September, which is 30% off all of September when you join any subscriptions on Twitch. It's just a nice way to support people you watch on this website. But if not, I have tons and tons of links below the video here. Patreon, social. Make sure you're following me around witches. And when I'm not streaming, you can always ask me questions about food and zines and printed things too. So that's the business. How are you? How is everybody? I am quite tired. It was a very long week for me. I think you kind of hear it in my voice. I am also quite sleepy. I might actually nap today. Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of us are going through a lot of things, but I particularly had a rough one. Lots of rough one. Ah, your D&D game went late. Oh my. Oh my. Our Shadowrun games go pretty long. Stillfleet, we record maybe 2 or 3 hours depending on the day, but we try to take it easy. Just because, some people have jobs that they have to go to in the morning. Me and Shannon are like, I wonder what that's like. Anyway, let's get started here with Edible Ohio Valley. The theme, it says, I didn't notice this before, it says sweat. So this is clearly a summer issue, and the front cover is a single ice cream scoop. Summer 2011, number 5. So this is pretty early in their series. Number 5. Celebrating the Ohio River Valley food culture season by season. Cute. Sweat flavor, yeah. Sweat flavored ice cream. Okay, so we have some ads for, this is kind of interesting, Adventure Boot Camp for Women. This is aimed at me. Wow, cool. I don't know what that means. It's more of an exercise thing, I think. Ooh, private home brewing lessons. What? Paul's Homebrew. There's a guy in the Ohio Valley that will come to your house and teach you how to brew beer. That rules. Miranda Nixon, it's a wine company. Tasting room open Saturday. Steak and salmon dinners. I love this cute little community. Wow. Okay. Let's see if they got a letter from the editor here. Let's read it. This is such an interesting, publication because it's very localized. I've mostly been reading from Edible Manhattan and Edible Brooklyn, and I start to see, the same people over and over again being featured. And so this is really cool to look at a different community, and see what they, prioritize. It's fascinating. So this is a letter from the editor, Joy Kramer Arntz. Summer. There are lazy days, hazy days, crazy days, and days some wish they could doff all responsibility and simply enjoy the beautiful weather. Oh my God, you got me, girl. Throughout all these days, summer is thick with anniversaries. There are the significant family anniversaries, noteworthy personal anniversaries, and the obscure but no less memorable anniversaries. It hardly seems possible, but this summer, one of these anniversaries for Edible Ohio Valley. With this issue, we celebrate the end of our first year and the beginning of our second. Considering the edible community's timescale, it's just a drop in the bucket. This community of publications has quite the range. Edible Ohio, the founding edible magazine, would celebrate its 10th anniversary in the coming year. Edible Boston celebrates its 5th anniversary this summer, and within the last month, we welcomed our first issue for neighboring Edible Indianapolis. It wouldn't be summer, nor would it be an anniversary if we did not celebrate it in some way, and that's why August 4th, we're co-sponsoring an event, local, explaining the party, la 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 la. Okay. If you aren't up to sweating it out with some local cocktails with us that night, we hope you enjoy this issue. It celebrates a variety of warm weather regulars. First up, we have an excerpt from a book called Chasing Chilies. As they explore the plight of the Sonoran chili. Revisit one method of home canning and summer salsas. Yum! And what summer issue would be truly complete without ice cream? Yum. This is cute. Ohio Valley, also nice. Very cute. They've got so many local events in 2011. The 4th annual Can Cocktail Classic. Cute. Murfin Ridge Inn. I feel like I'm reading a catalog from Twin Peaks. It's all these local, super local things. James Beard Awards 2011. Oh, interesting. So, I don't know if you heard about this, but the James Beard Awards were canceled this year. There was a lot of hubbub about it. And so this is a relic. This is 2011. Excuse me. It says, celebrating, nurturing, and preserving. In the world of American cuisine, recognition by the James Beard Foundation is like winning an Oscar in the world of movies. A chef at the forefront of the American gourmet cooking movement, James Beard welcomed food and drink professionals into his home throughout his career. The James Beard Foundation was created in 1985 after his death, and its mission was to continue Beard's work as a cooking enthusiast. So they have a kind of an outline of local award winners. So the American Classic Award in 2000 was Camp Washington Chili. Best chef in 2002 was Ann Kearney. Okay. 2011, Outstanding Wine and Spirits Professional, Julian Van Winkle III. Publication. Okay, so they won in 2011, Publication of the Year. Past nominees, Best Chef. So they have this little pullout of, like, the local award winners, which is really cute. It's a very thin issue. You see how small it is? Oh, cute. It's notable edibles features. So they've got a berry farm, Hazelfield Farm, Walnut Ridge Acres, Arts and Lettuce. A pop-up or a dinner series. Arts and Lettuce. This sounds fun. I mean, it's all white people here so far, of course. But this is adorable. Look at this old lady. For many of us, summer means making an early morning trek to a farm to pick those pleasant goodies of the season, berries. You were right. You called it. They were going to talk about berries. Have you ever picked blueberries while listening to classical music? Oh my God. Adorable. Their classical music broadcast throughout the berry patch is a unique feature of Alpine Berry Farm. The local classic public radio station, WGUC 90.9 FM, is piped into the berry patch for the picker's enjoyment while picking the farm's specialty, blueberries grown naturally with no spray. Oh, that's adorable. Okay, we've got Hazelfield Farm in Wheatley, Kentucky. They do flowers and cattle and 50 types of heirloom tomatoes. Walnut Ridge Acres in Clarksville, Ohio. 50-acre family farm located in Ohio State Route 22-3 in Clarksville. Cute. And then Arts and Lettuce. This is in Cincinnati. 1 table, 10 plates. Each diner is at the culinary mercy of Ryan Santos, a graduate of the University of Cincinnati School of Design, Architecture, Art, and Planning. He's most recently transplanted from the kitchens of Cleveland. Upon Ryan's return to Cincinnati, he knew he wanted something different in the local food scene. In less than a month, Ryan has organized small, intimate dinners for friends and friends of friends under the name Arts and Lettuce. It's a good name, because Arts and Letters. It's a collaboration between Ryan's catering company, Please, and the Brush Factory. His catering company is called Please? Wow. On a Friday night in June, our theme was a vegetarian breakfast for dinner. Shown above is second course, scrambled egg mousse with Chateau Bakery croissant, avocado cream, sherry vinegar, black garlic reduction, Cap'n Crunch, and onion threads. What? That's insane. Look at that. Cool. Arts and Lettuce. Exploring the Diverse Middle West. Heartland, the cookbook by Judith Fertig. I mean, diverse Middle West. Oh, boy. It's funny. The opening line agrees with me. I'll admit I was a little skeptical when I picked up Heartland, the cookbook, to read for the first time. The dust jacket is adorned with a typical farm photo, a red barn and a grain silo set against the backdrop of a field of corn. The introduction extols the proverbial virtues of Midwesterners. This is so funny. Oh, duck confit, lard. Oh, how to make your own lard. Fascinating. Who could argue with dishes with titles like these? Sweet potato waffles with whipped orange butter. Yum. Grilled pear salad with blue cheese and honey. And butternut squash, morel, sage, and brown butter lasagna. Okay, dude. Sounds good. Wow. Art of Craft Cocktails. By Joanne Drilling. I'll read you only the first paragraph here and some of the headings. Trends exist in all aspects of culture, and it's difficult to live in the modern world without encountering at least a few. Some are cringeworthy, like neon-colored stirrup pants, while others improve our communities, think recycling, urban gardens, and light rail transportation. Food culture is no different. While the jury's still out on some trends like molecular gastronomy, the public interest in the quality of our food sources has been steadily on the rise over the past 20 years. And eating and shopping locally has gone from trend to full-fledged movement. I can agree with that. So she goes on to explain the art of craft cocktails under understanding flavors, understanding technique, respect for tradition, a flair for storytelling, and a commitment to quality. Oh, this is cool. What else? Chasing Chilies is an excerpt that I mentioned earlier. It's a review of a book called Chasing Chilies by Kurt Michael Fries, Craig Kraft, and Gary Paul Nabhan. Finding the wildness of chilies in Sonora. Okay, I'm going to read you the first paragraph. When we crossed the U.S.-Mexico border into the Estado de Sonora, we could feel something different in the landscape. It was especially visible along the roadsides, a feeling that was palpable in the dusty air. Less than half an hour south of Nogales, Arizona, we began to see dozens of street vendors on the edge of a highway hawking their wares. There were fruit stands, ceviche and fish tacos and seafood carts, tin-roofed barbacoa huts, and all sorts of garish concrete and soapstone lawn ornaments clumped together. Amid the run-of-the-mill street food tourist kitsch, we sensed that we might just discover something truly Sonoran. Dozens of long strings of dried crimson peppers called chiles de sarta hung from the beams of roadside stands, ready for making moles and enchilada sauces. Hidden among them were recycled containers used to harbor smaller but more potent peppers, old Coronita beer bottles, and the familiar curvy Coca-Cola silhouette filled with homemade pickled wild green chiltepines. These were what we sought, little incendiary wild chilies, stuffed into old bottles like a chili Molotov cocktail and sold on the street. Wow, this sounds cool! All right, yeah, this book is called Chasing Chilies, Hot Spots Along the Pepper Trail. Fascinating. Chiltepines are only harvested during 4-week-long window that shifts from autumn to autumn, for the peak in their fruiting is triggered by the timing of the midsummer rains. Wow. Cool. Got a feature here by Bryn Muth, The Tao of Dairy. At 4 p.m. on the dot, 135 cows plod into single file toward the milking parlor at the Brick. The animals queue up 5 abreast in a holding pen that resembles a large picnic shelter. They wait patiently, snuffing softly, their big long eyelashes registering nothing but calm. A floppy-hatted farmhand, petite and tough as nails, guides the cows into the parlor, affixes the vacuum milking equipment, and speaks gently to them as they milk and munch the handful of grain they regard as a treat. 10 minutes later, they're moving back down the fenced lane toward an open paddock. This scene will repeat at sunup tomorrow, twice a day, 365 days a year. This is the rhythm of a dairy farm. So it's a profile of this dairy farm, but armed with Chinese philosophy, a deep expertise in the manufacture of food, a couple of 100 southeast Ohio acres, and each other, Victoria and Warren Taylor, are setting out to change the world one carton of milk at a time. Interesting. It's a big picture. Look at all these cows. Look at all these cows. Okay. Preserving Local Agriculture by Sherry Brooks Vinton. This is a whole feature on sunny summer salsas. Canning. It wasn't long ago that the word brought up images of calico-covered kitchens and recipes as musty as dust jackets that bound them. As many are discovering, putting up doesn't mean flavors as antiquated as gelatin molds. The new wave of preserving books is full of dynamic, right-now tastes, and for those of us dedicated to local agriculture, preserving the harvest is just a natural extension of seasonal eating. It lets you stop summer flavors in their tracks and support local growers even when fields are fallow. Interesting. Ooh, look at this. Okay, there's recipes. Salsa recipes. These 2 different non-tomato salsas, interesting, each can utilize a variety of ingredients so you can take advantage of what's coming off your local fields. Ooh, a stone fruit salsa has apple cider vinegar, water, brown sugar, plums, bell pepper, onion, chili, garlic, cilantro. And then cucurbit salsa. So if you remember from my food stream last week, cucurbits are gourds basically, or soft gourds, so like zucchini. So this salsa has distilled vinegar, sugar, kosher salt, black pepper, cumin, zucchini, summer squash, or cucumbers cut into 1/4-inch dice, yellow onion, poblano chili, jalapeno, garlic, and cilantro. Cool. And I like this call out here. It's 2 very different recipes, but then 1 lump instruction because they're made the same way. I think more magazines should be doing this. Because I think if you present recipes this way, like, basically these have the same instructions, people won't feel so stuck like they have to do one exactly one way and the other one exactly another way. It's kind of, I don't know, making it easier to understand, like, the concept of salsa by presenting 2 very different ones and keeping the same instruction. I don't know, I really like that. That's cool. We got the cover story, Ice Cream by Joanne Drilling. Ooh, making your own ice cream at home. Wow. So they've got 2 recipes. This is a beautiful page. Look at this beautiful page. The white is a little hard to read for the recipes, but the shot is cool and the layout's cool. Yeah. Girl Scout peach ice cream. The first time I made ice cream was at a Girl Scout day camp during the summer before 3rd grade. This was the recipe that we used. Oh, cool. We also made the same recipe substituting Oreo cookies for the fruit. Yeah. Years later, I still prefer a peach version with the addition of fresh mint. So this is 2 cans sweetened condensed milk, 6 cups whole milk, 2 tablespoons vanilla, 2 tablespoons fresh mint, and 2 cups peaches. Wow, that sounds so easy. And there's only 2 instructions. Combine, whisk, and then freeze. Cool. Blueberry buttermilk ice cream. While many ice cream fans prefer the rich egg flavor of a frozen custard, I'm more partial to the slightly sweetened tardiness of buttermilk, which pairs so well with freshly picked blueberries. Hell yeah! I didn't know you could make ice cream with buttermilk. 2 pints blueberries, sugar, lime juice, salt, heavy cream, buttermilk. Wow! These sound great. I'm gonna make these. Oh, more! Oh my gosh, there's 4 more ice cream recipes here. Maison du Miel's honey ice cream. Honey ice cream, y'all. Vanilla bean, heavy cream, milk, and then honey. Wow. White chocolate blackberry ice cream. Chez Panisse goat cheese ice cream. This is funny that they're putting in a Chez Panisse recipe. Chez Panisse is located in Berkeley, California, which is nowhere near the Ohio Valley. I'll take my cheese course frozen, please. Serve with roasted walnut halves, fresh figs, and local honey. 12 egg yolks. Damn. Okay. Wow. What a good feature. It's a good ice cream feature. We have a big feature here called Hives and Swarms. Honeybee Sustainability by Dennis Kramer Wine and illustration by Reed DeWinter. On April 23rd, we received our package of carnelian bees. Like many animals, the honeybee hive has a way of collectively keeping itself a sustainable entity, much on its own. Unlike other animals, it does so cooperatively with anywhere between 10,000 and over 60,000 insect family members. From a backyard farming perspective, and with just a little bit of help along the way, the honeybee colony is able to take cues from the queen, collect pollen, make and store its own food, protect its space, raise its own replacements, and communicate, and much more. From the start, they have been wonderful to work with. Taking advice from the keeper we purchased them from, we removed the queen's cage immediately to ensure she was alive and well. Next, we carefully removed the cork door to her container and stuffed in a marshmallow for her and her new colony to eat during their acceptance routine. After setting in a can of sugar water for their initial food, we poured in the bees, who are amazingly docile and happy to work with. We closed the hive, thrilled at our new venture. Wow! I didn't know that when you transport bees, there's a queen's cage. I mean, I guess that makes sense, so you can locate her very easily, but fascinating. They've got a directory of all the ads that were in here. And then finally, the end here. This is a really cute layout. I love that combination of illustration and text. Summer brings unusual shapes and colors to the markets because those items look a little bit different. Some of our local farmers are sad to see customers steer clear of those little treasures. Here are a few of the more unusual local items you might see at the farmer's market in the heat of summer that are well worth trying. Green zebra and purple Cherokee tomatoes, patty pan squash, Triunfo Violetti beans, ground cherries. I actually got some of those last week, and squash blossoms. This is awesome. Okay, yeah, this is beautiful. This is a great little issue. I've been giving away a lot of these magazines, but I think I'm going to keep this one. I mean, it's very little. It has a lot of really good recipes. But yeah, this was Edible Ohio Valley. Summer 2011. So in 9 years, you know, it's still relevant and still evergreen. There was not a single person of color in this magazine, but I mean, I'm sure hopefully by now that has changed. But that was cute. This is very cute. We're very well put together. I can't say that about a lot of other magazines we've covered so far, you know? Like the combination of utility and creativity, like, hasn't been very good in a lot of the zines we've covered so far, but that one was a good one. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is skim through this great book called Vibrant India. Full disclosure, I'm friends with Chitra, who is the author. This came out on 10-Speed Press, and it's fresh vegetarian recipes from Bangalore to Brooklyn. And so Chitra's story is she is a cooking instructor, a writer, and also behind the brand Brooklyn Deli. So Deli spelled Delhi, and they have several really, really wonderful products that were like, so she grew up with like all Indian food, all vegetarian stuff, and getting her mother's recipes and grandmother's recipes. But living in Brooklyn, you know, she was limited to, you know, what we have at our farmers markets. And so then she started to mix in local Brooklyn produce with her family's recipes. And that's kind of where the idea of this book came from, which is so cool. And she has a jarred tomato achar, which is available at Whole Foods. And it's a spicy tomato chutney, basically, or spicy tomato pickle, and it's like a spread. And I've used it as like my tomato sauce on pizzas. I've done like a lot of non-pizza with it. You can mix it into eggs. It's kind of it's not oily like a chili crisp, like an Asian chili crisp, but it's also not pasty like Korean gochujang. You know what I mean? It's in the middle. But it's very good and very delicious. And she just released like curry ketchup and her own like other condiments, like a garlic achar, and I'm blanking on the rest of the products, but Brooklyn Deli is really, really good, and this is her book. And so I approached this with trepidation because I think in a lot of Indian cooking, there's a lot of coconut, and I'm allergic to it. So there are a lot of things I can't make in here, but there's still tons of good ideas in it. So let's get in here. I went to her book signing when this came out. It says, "Dear Jenn, thank you for coming to my party and for your support. I'm so excited for your book." This is before my cookbook came out. "Hope you enjoy the recipes of Vibrant India." Yeah. I'll read you the introduction. South Indian home cooking, rooted in vegetarian customs and honed over centuries for optimum taste and nutrition, is light and fresh, yet satisfying and full of bold and complex flavors. In Vibrant India, Chitras Agrawal takes you on a culinary journey through her mother's hometown of Bangalore and back to Brooklyn, where she adapts her family's time-honored South Indian recipes for home cooks. As opposed to the heavy, rich curries found in most Indian restaurants, this style of cuisine, often called the yoga diet, is based around seasonal produce, grains, legumes, coconut, and yogurt, along with herbs, citrus, chilies, and spices. The recipes also naturally lend themselves to gluten-free and vegan diets. So Chitra introduces you to the essential South Indian cooking techniques, tips, and ingredients you'll need to prepare a full range of recipes, from the classic savory crepe dosa, filled with lemony turmeric potatoes, to new creations like coconut polenta topped with spring vegetables. Nearly 80 recipes such as lime dill rice with pistachios, summer squash and herby coconut yogurt curry, and apple, ginger, and coconut ham pies cover the gamut from small bites and condiments to quick vegetable stir-fries and hearty stews to delectable desserts and refreshing drinks. Whether you're a vegetarian, vegan, and a fan of Indian food, or just looking for ways to incorporate more healthy recipes into your repertoire, Vibrant India is a practical guide for bringing delicious Indian home cooking to your table. Yes, it's quite good. I actually made a recipe yesterday. I didn't have pistachios, but I made a peanut turmeric rice. So, this is on 10-speed press, which is based in California, and I don't remember what year it came out. When did this come out? It doesn't say what year it came out. Anyway, this book has not only photography, but like these beautiful hand-drawn illustrations by Chitra's aunt. This is like a family affair. This is quite amazing. Look at that. Bangalore market. Beautiful. So I love cookbooks because they have, not just recipes, but like methods. That's kind of what the introduction of a cookbook does. It contextualizes the recipes and then kind of instructs you on how to approach it. So Chitra goes through her family ties and, her history of cooking here. And, look at these old photos from the 80s and 90s, maybe the 70s also. Wow. I highly, highly recommend this book. South Indian food traditions, her explanation from Bangalore to Brooklyn. Oh yeah, so here's Chitra. And her husband Ben, who I've seen at many food expos. How to use this book. Every cookbook has this or should have it. Before you hit the kitchen, I highly recommend reviewing Indian cooking techniques and tips on page 17. This section includes how to temper spices and oil, possibly the most important lesson I can teach you, in addition to tips on prepping ingredients and seasoning your dishes. To help get you started, I also introduce you to the South Indian pantry of ingredients and useful kitchen tools for making Indian recipes. Last, I've included a starter grocery list of ingredients that are used most often in the book, plus where to buy them on page 206, and a resource on meal planning and sample menus on 205. Yeah, I also had this in my cookbook. It's really helpful to kind of pull menus together for people. They're like, what else is going to go with this dish in this book? So that's kind of where you explain all of that. Every recipe in the book is vegetarian. Each is labeled for the seasons and by dietary restriction. Most of the recipes in the book are vegan and gluten-free, and if not labeled as such, they can be easily modified. This is a great contextualizing paragraph. My approach to teaching cooking is focused on flexibility of ingredients. I provide lots of substitutions in my notes, so if you don't have a particular vegetable, I have you covered with another one. Note that flavor and intensity of certain ingredients varies from brand to brand. For instance, if you're using a less potent tamarind paste than mine, by all means add more than what I have specified to hit that sour note. Last but not least, this is a great note. In no way do I want to imply that this book is a complete canon of South Indian cooking. The recipes are derived from age-old vegetarian culinary traditions from South India, but grounded in my reality as a busy city dweller. I state stay true to traditional flavors, but readily adapt recipes to my experience and to the ingredients and time I have on hand. The beauty of Indian home cooking is that it lends itself to creativity, but has a distinct essence that permeates each iteration of a recipe. Learn from my interpretations and build on them further to make recipes your own. I wrote a very similar sentence in my cookbook. For me, the way that I phrased it was, this book is not a monolith, you know, it's something to add to your culinary mental toolbox, and that even now I'm still experimenting with my own recipes and encourage you to find your own culinary voice, you know. So I appreciate that whenever anyone says that. There's this great section on Indian cooking and techniques and tips, like learning how to temper or temper spices in oil. So tempering basically is unlocking the spices. So a lot of pantry spices, a lot of seeds, mustard seeds, cumin, coriander, they have a little kernel of oil on the inside, or volatile oils, and they're not released until you either crack them open or oil temper them. And so they're oil soluble, so it makes sense to use vegetable oil to draw that out of them very quickly. A lot of Indian recipes have like a very quick, like, put the oil on high, put one mustard seed, wait until it pops, and then pour the rest in, stir it around for a minute, and then continue with the rest of the recipe. And it's very similar to mirepoix in French cooking, or in Italian cooking, you're always sauteing the garlic and onions first in a sofrito. So this is kind of their version of a sofrito situation, or flavoring. The South Indian pantry. This was cool. I learned a lot about asafoetida, or hing powder. It's an extremely pungent resin derived from the sap of a plant similar to fennel. You can purchase it in chunks or as a powder. I usually purchase mine in chunks and grind them into a powder in my spice grinder. I buy the SSP brand, which is produced in Bangalore and sold in its pure form. What else about it? A little asafoetida goes a long way, and most recipes call for just a pinch. I love passing an open container around my cooking classes and watching my students grimace. It's that intense. The beauty of asafoetida is unlocked when it's fried in oil, like I mentioned before. It exudes an aroma and flavor similar to onion and garlic. Whoa. Historically, it's been used in Brahmin and Jain kitchens because these groups are prohibited from consuming onion and garlic for religious reasons. Asafoetida is known to aid in digestion and is ingredient in several Ayurvedic medicines for this purpose. Although you could substitute onion and garlic, I highly recommend seeking this spice out. It's a game changer in the kitchen. So I have a very small package of it here from like it's called Dual Indian stores. There's like 2 of them. Black mustard seeds, black pepper, we know what those are. Cardamom, cinnamon, cloves, coriander, cumin, fenugreek, saffron. Here, fenugreek seeds. That one's less familiar, right? Light brown, wrinkly seeds derived from the leafy fenugreek plant. When roasted and ground, the seeds take on a nutty and almost maple-like flavor. Interesting. They are finicky, though, and will become bitter if fried in oil or roasted a tad too long. I usually roast them until I can smell their nutty aroma, yet they are still golden brown. But I prefer to roast them until they are a little reddish to get a tinge of bitterness. This spice is primarily used to flavor pickles and spice blends in South India. Fenugreek is known for increasing milk production for new mothers. Interesting! Fascinating. There's a whole section on chilies, sweeteners, fresh ingredients. I actually do have curry leaves in my fridge right now. Nuts and seeds. This was really illuminating. Lentils and beans is a whole section. Because it's vegetarian, this is like their main protein. So like chana dal, split black chickpeas, roasted chana dal, mung beans, mung dal, which is split mung beans. Red lentils are masoor dal. Tur dal is split pigeon peas. Urad whole gota, or black gram without skin. Urad dal, black-eyed peas. Kala chana, horse gram. Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Oh, I don't want to sneeze. Maybe I lost it. Oh, I guess not. spice blends, ghee. There's a recipe for learning how to make your own ghee. Ghee is clarified butter, basically. Kitchen tools. Look at these illustrations. This is by her aunt. This book is, I mean, too true to its name, vibrant. So the first chapter is breakfast, crepes, dosa, yum. Idli. I've never made idli before. All your cooking uses so much onion and garlic. Yes, true. Idli is like a steamed semolina cake. Something I'm very curious about. Mixed lentil and oatmeal crepe. Wow. Oh, this is what an idli looks like. Steamed lentil and herb dumplings. Oh, these look good. They look like fingerling potatoes with dill. Oh, my music stopped. Hello? What happened? Oh, sorry, 1 second. There we go. Vermicelli noodle stir fry with carrots, edamame, and scallions. Oh, okay. I'm gonna tell you the ones that I marked for myself because I'm allergic to a lot of this. But hotel scrambled eggs has ghee, black mustard seed, curry leaves, ginger, tomato, eggs, whole milk. Yum, yum. Salads and yogurts. Look at this peacock. This is a very beautiful cookbook. This is the cover. Shredded carrot and lentil salad. Beautiful. That's another one that I marked in here. Beet yogurt raita. Do you know what raita is? Raita is a yogurt dip that has shredded cucumber in it, but you can also do beets. Kale yogurt raita, yes. I need to make a raita. Now I want to go get some yogurt. Cabbage stir fry with lemon and curry leaves. Boy, if you have never had curry leaves, they are a revelation. They get crispy, and I bookmarked here green bean and coconut stir fry. I mean, I can't have the coconut, but the green beans look delicious. Trying to find the recipes that I earmarked. I should have used Post-its. I've just gotten into this habit of writing in my books. This is what I made. Lemon peanut rice. I made this yesterday. Beautiful, right? It's called Nimbehanu Chitrana. So it's turmeric rice with peanut, black mustard seed, asafoetida, curry leaves, chili, lemon, and cilantro leaves. I think I'm going to have this after the stream. It's so good. It was really good. I bookmarked this one. Yogurt rice with pomegranate and mint. Yes. Delicious. Yellow lentil and rice risotto. So like cooking lentils and stirring them like risotto so that they get all mushy. Thin flatbread like roti. I always like practicing my roti. I did roti for a wedding once, and we made like a couple hundred of them, and it was a lot of work, but delicious and worth it. Spicy sweet potato buns, hell yeah. Here's another chapter for soup, stews, and lentils. Look at this. This is all hand drawn by her aunt. I like how the pages pop so much and it's not just like a white page with text on it. These little flourishes, too, are gorgeous. Like these little design flourishes up here. It's cool that they denote the season, too, that this is the best season to make this recipe. You don't get that in a lot of cookbooks. Lemony lentil soup is something on my list here. I also made Where's the one that I made? I made creamy yellow lentils with tomato and ginger the other day. It's very good. I made this the other day. Pretty. Look, it's a turtle. Festive bites and snacks. It's more for like group eating. Ben's curry leaf popcorn. So Ben is Chitra's husband, and this is like a snack that he like invented. Curry leaf popcorn. Oh, I want that today. I'm gonna make that later. Stuffed shishito pepper fritters, pan roasted masala peanuts. I might make that too. I have all the ingredients for that. So pan roasted masala peanuts have curry leaves, asafoetida, turmeric, pepper, chili powder. That's it. Yum. Ooh, spicy bitter gourd chips. So we've been talking a lot about bitter melon on my streams. And this is, you can also make chips. I didn't realize you can make chips. Chapter on sweets and drinks. Wow, this is gorgeous. Look at that. Just beautiful. So intricate. How cool is it to have an illustrator in your family? Wonderful. Chia pudding with roasted jaggery blueberries. Oh, the blueberries look cool. Aren't they beautiful? Hand pies. Cardamom oatmeal cookies with dark chocolate and golden raisins. Yo, those look fantastic. Into it. Ice cream. Ooh. Kind of like a lassi. It's called Mavina Hanina Sicarne. Oh, but this has coconut milk in it. So mango, coconut milk, yogurt, cardamom powder, sugar, and ice cubes. That sounds really easy. Mango and coconut milkshake. Turmeric almond milk, yes. Savory spiced yogurt drink. Wow. Chili watermelon juice with lime and mint leaves. I'm into that. Just add some tequila. Down. South Indian drip coffee. Chutneys and pickles. This is probably my favorite chapter. Because chutneys and pickles last forever. And so you can start putting it on everything. Mom's tomato chutney. Meyer lemon pickle. This recipe was actually reprinted in an issue of Put Egg on It. My pickle issue, obviously. Spicy cranberry relish. Something called toku. And it says here, taku is a condiment halfway between pickle and chutney. It's usually made from sour or tart fruit like green mango or green gooseberries that are grated and cooked on a stovetop with oils, chili, and spices. My aunties, Asha and Karen, both make their toku from cranberries, which are more easily found in the farmer's market in the fall. I've adapted this version for the recipes. I added jaggery and unrefined cane sugar to balance out the tang of the cranberries and the spiciness of the chilies. Wow, this sounds really good for Thanksgiving, doesn't it? Can you imagine having an Indian turkey with toku? Let's do that. Oh, I want to do that now. Chutney powder from scratch. So these are all the like supporting spice mixes. So like saru powder, huli powder, vangi bath powder, roasted fenugreek seed powder. I like that stuff is included here, so you don't have to buy it. Even a recipe for making your own yogurt, because it's used so often in this book. So it's 4 cups milk that is warmed to 115 degrees Fahrenheit, and then mixed with plain yogurt and kind of incubated until it's made into yogurt. She says, if you don't have an oven light, wrap your yogurt pot in blankets or a towel to keep it warm. The correct temperature for setting yogurt is 110 to 115. Yogurt should set within 5 to 10 hours. I usually leave it in the oven overnight. Interesting. So, recipe for ghee. Look at these fish. Aren't these beautiful? Wow. Oh, and then an essay, like a little feature on hands over forks and knives, about like why in her in Indian culture, you use your hands to eat. It's amazing. I appreciate that. There's meal planning and sample menus here. I always love that. Your first South Indian meal, like an introductory, like easy meal, would be the lemon peanut rice, potato, carrot, and red lentil stew, radish yogurt raita, chia pudding with roasted jaggery blueberries. Those are some of the ones that I've pulled out earlier. So that makes sense because I'm a noob to Indian cooking. And then there's a spring meal, a fall meal, a summer meal, a winter meal. I think that's really cool. I should do that for my cookbook. I should, like, publish supporting blogs of, like, oh, it's fall now. These are the best fall recipes from my cookbook. Grocery list, where to buy these ingredients. This is great. Yeah. So this, what I've been reading from, is Vibrant India. I just actually finished reading it yesterday. It's by Chitras Agrawal. It's so good. So if you're vegetarian or vegan or want to gift something to a vegetarian or vegan in your life, this book is highly recommended. Does contain a lot of coconut, but the substitutions are possible to make it happen. Yeah. So that was Vibrant India. Then we also looked at Edible Ohio Valley. What have y'all been reading? Let me know. I love to hear, tag me when you read an interesting article or DM it to me. I'd love to share what you're reading, especially if it's related to food, because that's what I talk about all the time, right? Anyway, friends, thanks for hanging out with me this Sunday. I think I'm going to eat some lunch and take a nap. I hope you have a restful remaining Labor Day weekend. Stay safe. If you're in the New York area, please be cautious of large gatherings because they've reported that they're going to be putting more police on the street this weekend to enforce social distancing. So I would just, be as vigilant and careful as possible. And I'm looking forward to my nap for sure. Maybe you all should take a nap. Get some rest. All right. Thanks for hanging out, friends. I'll be back on Wednesday at 5 p.m. to talk about food. So hopefully see you then. Make sure you follow me on social. My username is Randwiches. And goodbye.